Build a highly profitable real estate machine with explosive, exponential growth that works harder for you than you work for it, while living a life by design. Breakthroughs are all around you, but you don't see them until now. Join Jason Williford here at the Ultimate Real Estate Machine as he converses with highly respected and world-renowned experts from inside and outside the real estate industry. You'll discover proven business, marketing, and sales strategies that transform you into the most trusted, dominant, and influential expert in your market, the Preeminent Agent. Each episode brings you one step closer to the highly profitable and fulfilling real estate business that you've been longing for. Here's your host, Jason Williford.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Encounter with Me. This is going to be really fascinating. My guest today is a very high-performing real estate broker agent. He and his partner have built one of the most successful businesses, real estate businesses in the Atlanta field, but he has long been in the top, 1% of all performers in the industry. And I've done some very interesting collaborations with him over the years, and I'm impressed by him and his values. He's committed to my strategy of preeminence, and he's on a mission, a crusade of the highest level to bring an elevated sense of contribution, value creation, and preeminence to the high-performing real estate industry. And he has, about a year ago, asked me if we could collaborate on a project. And the project turned out to be this. It is a book, but it's a very special book. The title is The Ultimate Real Estate Machine, The Ultimate Real Estate Machine. The subtitle is How Team Leaders Can Build a Prestigious Brand and Have Explosive Growth with More Freedom and Less Risk. Jason Williford, my co-author on the project and a very passionate advocate of preeminence in the real estate profession, the residential real estate profession. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. It's going to be fun. So what I'm going to do
is
very interesting. Just parenthetically, about 2 years ago, Bulletproof Coffee icon Dave Asprey wrote a book. It was called Game Changers. And he didn't want to talk about it himself. So he had me interview him about it for his own podcast. Very interesting. And today I'm going to interview Jason about our collaborative book because I don't want to be the voice. I want him to express why, how, what, and what it's designed to do and for whom. And I think it'll be very interesting. It's a really cool book. It takes lessons Jason has learned, hard-won lessons in the real estate profession. He's taken a lot of input he has gained by years of studying my methodology. We've integrated it into a very unique proprietary theorem that I think any high-performance real estate leader, and a leader, just for anybody who's not in real estate, is a man or woman who runs a team of high-performance agents that do various things. They may all be selling, some may be support, but it's a high-performance elite team that is focused on usually a niche of real estate, or maybe many, but they're all unique and elevated performers who are marching to the beat of a very different drum. They're not average, they're not mediocre. And this book and Jason's passion is designed to elevate and accelerate high-performing real estate leaders and their teams to stature and achievement beyond comprehension. And while we are today, as we do this interview, enjoying almost an aberration, an outrageously remarkable seller's market. The prospects and the forecasts are it won't last forever. And this is an enduring book that I'm very proud to be associated with, that is designed to help people capitalize on today, but also on any kind of an economic, competitive, transformative, disruptive environment that happens. And there's a lot of disruption happening. So with that stage, first of all, Jason, I'm going to ask the questions as an interviewer. I'm not going to really make a lot of comments. You are the voice of both of us for today, okay?
Yes, sir. I'm ready to rock.
So why did we write this book?
The quick story of why we wrote this book, as you know, I had a close call with death back about a little over a year ago, right at a year ago. Actually, a year ago yesterday, I was in the ICU. I seen it on Facebook. And a lot of things happen to me when you see someone die in the room next to you. And what later became of me is my life mission changed, and that changed to positively impact 10 million or more lives directly or indirectly, with or without receiving recognition for it. So, why I wanted to write this book with you is because I've always modeled you. I've modeled you for the past 8 years, which obviously took our business. My partner and I, we started out with $700 dead broke between the both of us, not just to launch a business, but also support our family. We both lost everything in the Great Recession, which is another reason I wrote the book, because yes, the market is already starting to see signs nationally of a potential shift. The indicators are already there, which some of it's seasonality, but some of it's a shift. But anyway, we drew a line in the sand in November of 2011 that we were fed up with living life the way that we were living it. And we said, let's launch into business together. My partner, she'd been in real estate previously. I've been in 100% commission sales since 1999. So we launched, and then we built an Inc. 500, the 354th fastest growing privately held company in America. Then 904 the year after that, then 1345 the year after that. So we have had exponential growth year over year. And the reason of writing the book with you is a lot of the principles the timeless principles that I've learned from you through the years before you even knew who I was, is what the book's about. It's not about the latest and greatest Facebook campaign, click funnel, et cetera, et cetera. This book is strategically written to be a book. And even Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank said it. He said it right on the book. He said, this book is the business Bible for those looking to grow a sustainable real estate business that thrives, a book to keep forever and refer back to when you're faced with business challenges. That's how the book was written and why it was written, to impact the lives of not only team leaders, and I think that is one thing. The book's not perfect. There probably is no perfect book other than the Bible, in my humble opinion. But team leaders, it's not just for team leaders. It's written for team leaders, but it's also for any successful agent that wants to break out of just being a real estate agent and build a profitable, sustainable, preeminent business with longevity. But it also ties very close to the mortgage industry as well. I think these team leaders should not only be getting the book for themselves, because there is definitely, without a doubt, gold all throughout the book, but also getting it for their vendors, their loan officers, their title attorneys, et cetera, because there's golden nuggets that they can all take, and also getting it for their team members as well, because that's a part of preeminence, not just one not just the team leader can be on the mindset of preeminence. That's something that you have to lead your entire organization, being highly focused on the external clients and internal clients, so you can collaborate to get to where everyone wants to go.
That was a great setup. Now let's go through. This book has, and again, I'm doing this interview as if I was not part of it. It's got 15 very rich, sinewy, no nonsense, non-theoretical chapters. Let's discuss what, why, and how each chapter fits together. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to go through them. Chapter 1, Launchpad to Exponential Growth. What's that about?
The Launchpad to Exponential Growth is just what it is it's a launch pad getting ready for takeoff. What I mean by the takeoff, it's really exposing what are those current pain points, not just current pain points, but pain points that have been in the industry for many, many years. Before you and I hopped on the call, Brian and I spoke about Zillow. And Zillow actually owns even the domain name called realestate.com is how powerful they are. They have more data than anyone. And they just made a statement last week that, hey, we're taking off the instant offer buying program. They put a halt to it and said, we're not doing that anymore because they ended up getting their rear ends handed to them, which I think that is a great win for the market, for the real estate agents in general, because my personal humble opinion is, and a lot of agents believe this, is that's what Zillow would absolutely love to do is disrupt the industry. I did the figuring one time and I can't remember how much I came up with, but approximately how much commission is paid by the American consumer to real estate agents nationally throughout a given year. And I can't remember the exact number, but it was billions. And of course, someone would love to intercept that money and cut out the real estate agent and link the buyer and seller.
So, but I want to stay on point though. So how does that relate to launching exponential growth? Because I want to keep on point because we got a lot of ground to cover and we have a very short period to do it in.
Okay. How that ties into the Launchpad for exponential growth is it's basically pulling out the issues that real estate agents have today, but have also had for many years, and how we are going to be showing them ways to solve their problems throughout the rest of the book.
And you're going to help them identify what they are, because oftentimes they don't have clarity and concreteness. You can't solve problems if you don't know what they are. And conversely, you can't realize all the opportunities if you don't know what they are. Don't you agree?
I would agree 100%. And
good, okay.
Then going into chapter 2.
Yeah. So now you got chapter 2. Unleash your creative breakthroughs, plural, genius. What does that mean? What's it all about? Why?
I knew I had to change the reader's paradigm before we really got into the meat of the book, because I feel that it's our job as authors of the book, again, for this not to be intellectual entertainment, for it to be a book that they take action upon. That's why most of the chapters have massive action assignments at the end of them. And without a doubt, if they take the actions, actually, they wouldn't even have to take the action in every chapter. I would highly suggest taking the actions in every chapter. But if they just took the actions in one chapter, without a doubt, they would see growth within their book, within their business. And that was the reason for chapter number 2, is to program their mind to think differently, to expand their thinking to a new way of doing business.
And I have to make a point. I think you probably made it, but I was thinking myself about it, so I might be a little ADD myself. But in every chapter at the end, you give a massive, and the word is massive, action assignment. So it's not abstract. You know what to do, how to do, what to do first, second, and third. It's very powerful. So let's go into chapter 3. Chapter 3 is stepping on the scale. What does that mean?
What that means is just like if Jay wanted to go on a diet, Jay, before he goes on a diet, he needs to step on the scale to see where he is currently at, to know where he's at, so he can get to where he wants to go. So he needs to know where he's at, but also he needs to know where he wants to go, and then have the roadmap. Then we can create the roadmap to get from point A to point B.
And I think that's good. You know, we had a book, actually it was a course that I did years ago called Getting from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And if you don't, it reminded me of the old sailing ship that had the 3-point sextant, where they have to figure out where you are, where you're trying to go, those 3 points, because you can't get to where you're trying to go if you don't know where it is. And you can't get there if you know where it is, if you don't know where you are. And you got to find the route to get there that's going to be the safest and the fastest, but the least probability of failure. And by the way, even though we're talking about this book for real estate leaders, many of the concepts you are sharing apply to anybody in business. Maybe not this book, but the premise, the promise, the process is all the same. So now let's look at chapter 4, the preeminent agent. Now, I have a lot of thoughts on, I'm zipping my lip for today's interview. What is in your mind the preeminent agent, and how does that factor against the majority of agents?
The preeminent agent, and I'm probably going to sound like a broken record to you, but the preeminent agent is the strategy of preeminence for the real estate agent, which is, falling in love with your client above and beyond your product and services. It's about, not selling them too much of a home that they can't afford, but it's also not selling them too little of a home that they can't stand and is a bad investment for them. It's about viewing, even from top of funnel marketing, before they even know that you are, before they are literally your client, you are viewing them as a client, being their trusted advocate. And that kind of even goes to, I'd write advertising copy for our radio campaign, and these industry disruptors, they came in quickly into the Atlanta market because it was one of their very first stopping points. And that's when I had a choice to make that, hey, I need to change this message up a little bit because, they're saying things like, hey, sell your home with no staging, no open houses, no showings, et cetera, et cetera. So that's when I made a choice, and we could have made the choice, hey, let's have a similar instant offer program. And we do, but the preeminence in me made the choice that, hey, it's my job as a trusted advocate of the consumer to educate the consumer, even through these radio ads, that, hey, an instant offer may be a good thing for you if your home is in distress, or if you're or if you're in distress. But other than that, this is not a market that you want to give all of your equity away to an investor. So that and that was paraphrased, but that's the mindset that I took straight from preeminence. Hey, let's be that trusted advisor, that advocate for the consumer to educate them so they make intelligent choices.
And how did it work for your real estate business?
It differentiated away from, I feel it educated, differentiated, not just from top of funnel marketing, the marketing message, but, of course that message had to be, trained to the agents as well. So when they went on listing or buyer appointments, that they had a similar message. And we did. And that is, for a small group of people, that can be a good program. If they're about to lose their home, bam, you get an offer. It's better than, losing your home and losing all your equity. But just the truth and the irrefutable truth is that an investor is buying the home, and an investor needs to make profit, and they aren't going to give you top dollar for your home.
Yeah, I've got it. Okay, let's continue. You've got Chapter 5, the value of a lifetime client. What does that mean?
What that means is I've made this mistake unintentionally, and many in the real estate industry make the mistake of, hey, we just closed the deal and now we get busy and we move on to the next client, and we forget to, as I say, love the one that you're with, just like that old song. Love the one you're with is those people that are your past clients, your current clients, and staying top of mind with them at a high level to make them lifetime clients. And also there's an example within the book of how they can come up, how they can calculate what is their lifetime value of a client, not just one time of Jay Abraham doing business with me, but what is the value of Jay doing business with me 6 to 7 times over a lifetime, but also when you calculate how many approximate referrals, if I have a predictable referral system in place, how many referrals will Jay approximately send me on average over a lifetime. So there's even a part in the book that they can calculate what is the lifetime value of a client, and it's made very simple and easy. As Einstein said, and I kept this in mind while writing the book, any fool can make things complex, but it takes a real genius to make things simple. I tried to simplify as much as I could too.
Great. Okay, now we're not even halfway through. Chapter 6, the real estate sticking point solution. And before you talk about it, I had a very successful book called The Sticking Point Solution. Let's see how Chapter 6 mirrors and matches that. What's it all about?
The Sticking Point Solution is about when a market shifts. It's about when and or an economy shifts, and not just that, but it's about any time that you can be stuck in your business. Well, and it even ties into life when you can be stuck in your life. And just the truth is just like you, when you live in the world of optimization, that even in those sticking points, your business is stuck. No matter how great, how profound, how amazing, how profitable that your business is, there's always a sticking point that, and usually many sticking points that, you unleash that log jam and break through that log jam, and it can open it up. It does open your business up for, higher profitability, higher growth, being more sustainable, something more with more longevity. And I guess the premise, even with that chapter, is there was a lot of hard lessons learned from me and the industry in the Great Recession. I personally lost everything. I'm real and authentic about my story. I lost every darn thing. I learned a lot of hard lessons learned, and there's a lot of other real estate agents that did. So that's an amazing chapter for them to be proactive and preemptive, so it doesn't happen to them this time or the next time it happens, or it doesn't happen to them again in the future.
That's good. All right. This is very interesting. And the point is, all of these are designed for a duality of application, for the leader to be able to lead with far more strategic and tactical might, but also to elevate themselves and their organization to a much more rarefied and stratospheric role in the mind's eye of the market that stands out and is totally differentiated and preemptive. But it's also to challenge them to think differently about every facet of their real estate business, isn't it?
Absolutely. Geometric growth.
Chapter 7, the 9 drivers. Tell me about it.
The 9 drivers of exponential profit. is designed. I think many real estate agents, and I've been there and I was there for a long time. And really, when I look back 10 years from now, I would probably say the same thing. 10 years ago, I didn't see all the opportunities that were in front of me, all the hidden assets, all the pitfalls that you can fall into, et cetera. So the 9 drivers is designed to look at the different opportunities that they have for exponential growth. And driver number 1 is my favorite personal topic, which is about marketing. And I truly believe that strategic marketing can solve many business problems. And I even asked you that when we had our very first interview, and you're very hard to get thrown off track, but I think I threw you off maybe for a couple of seconds, and I asked you a question, and the question was, who wins, Jay? The strategic marketer or the master strategist? You thought for just a second, and then you quickly responded, and you said the strategist wins. And I would have to agree that the strategist does win because the strategist is going to know of the master marketing plan that needs to be executed. And, there's 9 different drivers within that chapter. Systems, processes, procedures is one of the drivers. There's a total of 9 of them in there.
That's great. Okay, let's move on because there's a lot more to cover, and I'm on a timeline, and are you? Chapter 8, we're almost halfway through. What are the marketing principles that separate you from all your competition?
Marketing principles that separate you from all of your competition. Some of that ties back into the strategy of preeminence. It ties back into really, why do real estate agents fail? Number 1 reason why real estate agents and team leaders fail is they're not marketers. They are not true marketers. And as one of our friends says, the greatest agent does not win, the greatest marketer wins. And the reason why is because they'll never know who you are if you're not a master marketer. So in that chapter, it goes into the principles of not just branding, because a lot of real estate agents just think, hey, let me brand myself. Let me put myself on a shopping cart or a billboard and having no call to action. So that chapter is designed to train them to be a direct response marketer in that chapter.
I love it. Okay, let's talk about marketing mistakes that cost huge profits.
Within that chapter, there are 29 mistakes that real estate agents and team leaders can make, and I've made all of them. And actually, even within my business, I've been reverting back to this book and reading this book to solve some of my current issues. So in optimization, as we mentioned, there'll always be challenges and things to fix and optimize, but that chapter quickly lays out mistakes that real estate agents are having in marketing that honestly has cost me and our company millions and millions of dollars, primarily in opportunity costs, but how they can keep from doing that.
I love it. Okay. Chapter 10, inside sales agent leverage. What does that mean?
What that means is that's just one piece of the real estate machine that's helped our business exponentially, because what's the problem with that? The problem is when you generate a lead, the problem in real estate is not lead generation. The problem is lead conversion, converting that lead to a closing. So that's one big way that we have solved the problem of real estate agents not wanting to call leads. Because one thing I found out is that most real estate agents and most team leaders, where are they the most powerful? They are in a face-to-face listing appointment or a buyer appointment. And what that also does for the team leader's business is that gives them a great differentiated value proposition that, hey, we don't just provide leads, we provide face-to-face qualified set appointments that you don't have to call a bunch of leads. So that's what
that was your whole process, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a part of the process.
That's great. I love it. It's very good. Very good. Okay, let's continue. I love this. I'm like interviewing you about both of us. It's great.
Thank you.
Let's talk about innovation and value creation. That sounds provocative. What is that all about?
What that's about, and I tie it into Tony Robbins' business mastery, which I seen you at like in 2015 when I went to that, which is 14 hours per day, 4 days, an amazing conference. I think a good bit of material may have came from you for that course. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, Tony says, what are the 3 highest dollar producing activities that you can be doing as an entrepreneur? Number 1 is strategy. Number 2 is marketing. Number 3 is innovation. And I put / differentiation. And Tony talks about, what is innovation? What innovation really is, just in the simplest form, is creating value in your market where it does not currently exist. So that's what that chapter is about.
Love it. And what it looks like. I love that. Chapter 12, magnetic referral generation systems. That sounds pretty cool. What's that?
That's amazingly cool because, and again, borrowing from you, as I have over the years, you asked the question, and the question is, and now I ask the question a lot, how many predictable referral strategies do you currently have in your business that predictably generates referrals? Because referrals are the number 1 most proven, most profitable, most overlooked, most underutilized lead source for real estate agents. And how I know this is through my own mistake of, we were spending $80,000 to $100,000 a month on marketing to generate a client. And guess what we did not have? A referral generating system in place, which what we built our business off of to begin with. And that's, and 99.9% of real estate agents their common answer is 0 to 2 strategies in place. And that's one thing that I took, that with your permission, took from your vault, Elite Agent Referral Mastery, where we developed 217 predictable referral strategies that allows these team leaders and agents to create a system, not of 217, but if you have 0 to 2 and then you have 10 and then you have 20 later on, that's when you have a system in place, which is pretty much like a cash vending machine that sends you referrals on demand.
I love it. Referrals on demand.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're getting there. How about either you are a multiplier or a diminisher? What in the world is that all about?
What that is about is you're either adding value to the market or not. You're either being a great leader or you're not. You're adding massive value through innovation always, or you're not, or you're diminishing at any given time. And that's just a brief synopsis. I know we're running out of time.
You're doing a great job.
I've been both a multiplier and a diminisher. You're either green and growing or you're brown and dying at any given point.
Well, this is very much like physics. You're either expanding or contracting. You can't stay static. Okay, chapter 14, 4 steps to greatness, from mediocrity to magnificent. That sounds pretty auspicious. What is that all about?
I would have to know what auspicious means.
Pretty significant, pretty substantial, pretty important, pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Where I learned that from, it actually came from your podcast, The Ultimate Entrepreneur. And in that podcast, you even gave permission. Hey, what I want y'all to do is go train people, go deliver this to your team. So I did that. And the first time that I delivered it, which was rusty the first time, it got better the second time. But there were agents that cried in that meeting. And the reason why they cried, it wasn't because they were sad. They knew they had a profound moment that they had greatness within inside of them that they were not tapping into. And as it deeply explains in that chapter, God did create all of us for greatness. And I've even heard you say before that sometimes you toss and turn at night by the amount of people that do not strive for greatness, when God did create all of us to live a life and have a business of greatness. And there's only 4 steps. There's 4 simple steps to take to get to greatness. That chapter outlines that.
Okay, we're bringing it all home. What losing teaches you about winning.
That chapter was from your body of work, some of it that you did with Fran Tarkenton, which was, for those that don't know on the podcast, he actually did not win the Super Bowl. Is that correct?
Never. He played thrice and didn't win.
But an amazing quarterback, and actually he was from the University of Georgia, my team as well, which is pretty cool. And he's from Atlanta. But is what he goes into is, really, to have success, you have to have failure. And, as a pendulum swings, I've had to overcome a lot of adversity in my life. And I think the pendulum swings as much adversity as you've had. It also swings back in the same direction of how much resilience that you build and going back into, you're going to have a lot of failures. I've seen Walt Disney to even pitch. After he had already had an established name, he pitched over 300 times for investors to invest in Disneyland. Before one person said yes.
Yeah, I think the Chicken Soup for the Soul people that I know who sold something like 100 or 200 million copies, they had to present it, I think, 100 different publishing people before somebody said yes. Well, let me summarize. What's this book designed? At the end of reading this book, I always say the person that picks up a book should be different than the person that puts it down at the end if you've done your job. If you've done your job and your writing partner, Jay Abraham, what should the reader, the team leader, or the agent, what should they get out of this and how should they be transformed?
What they are going to, now one thing I can't do is I can't force people to take action. If they read the book just for intellectual entertainment, I think they will still, their mind will be programmed differently. They will not be the same after reading the book, period. But if they actually look at this book, not as just a book, as the first chapter, a roadmap to exponential growth, and they actually take action and do all of those massive action assignments within the book, I am so certain that they will have growth, significant sustainability. That my offer in the book is that we'll give you 200% your money back. So there's actually, and I would make it 1,000% money back guarantee if you did all of that, those massive action statements within the book and your business did not change. There's no way it could not change for the better.
Okay.
No way.
246 very no-nonsense, non-theoretical, sinewy pages. Jason Williford, Jay Abraham, a transformative book, The Ultimate Real Estate Machine, How Team Leaders Can Build a Prestigious Brand and Have Explosive Growth with More Freedom and Less Risk. Jason, you did a good job. I appreciate you, and you did a fabulous job of integrating the two belief systems. I hope that team leaders around the country and North America and anywhere else they read it will be able to use this book and the lessons it teaches to not only be much more successful, but to engineer, architect enormously greater success, first and foremost for the clients they serve, and secondly, for all the agents that hook their careers and their professional fates to those leaders, teams, and good luck to both of us. And thank you. And I'll be keenly watching to see how we do. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
That's it for this episode of The Ultimate Real Estate Machine. May your real estate machine be extremely rewarding, fulfilling, and life-changing for you and all the people that you impact. Claim those skyrocketing results that you demand from your real estate business. Subscribe to the show for more content like this at ultimaterealestatemachine.thepodcast.com. And don't forget to leave a positive rating. Thank you for joining us. See you on the next episode.